Hey, it's Karen Bentley. I have a quiz for you. What's faster than a speeding bullet? What's more powerful than a locomotive? Who is able to leap tall buildings in a single bound? Look up in the sky. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? No, it's Superman. And we're going to be talking today about how you can be your own Superman in your own world by developing super inner strength. The opposite of inner strength is crumbling in to problems and obstacles and disappointments. And you can crumble if you want. I've crumbled, but crumbling doesn't make you feel good about yourself. And when you crumble, you're relying on somebody else to solve your problems. And yeah, you can get help if you need it, but you can help yourself too by not crumbling. You know, I'm not judging getting help, but you need to be strong in yourself too. So when you're relying on others, it's a strength that cannot be trusted because they can take it away. They can, they can not be available. They can be mad at you. They can, exit the planet because of death. So, you need to develop your own inner strength. You need to be your own Superman. And this is the goal of the Warriors Way Apprentice program, which is the beginner entry-level program. The number one goal of that program is to develop inner strength, to not crumble, to give yourself confidence, to give yourself clarity, to give yourself resilience, to give yourself emotional stability and balance. All of those things come from inner strength, and you do want it. So, there's 4 tools that are used to typically develop inner strength, and I consider them helping tools, assisting tools, but not the primary tool. The primary tool is the one that is going to give you the fastest result, the most dramatic result, and the easiest result in the shortest time. So with the least amount of effort. But so that's what we're going to be using. But I'm going to explore these other tools just to put them on the table so you can consider them. And I'm not knocking them. I use them myself, but every single one of them is an assisting tool. It's not the primary tool for developing inner strength. So the first tool is that meditate. If you ask ChatGPT what's the top 5 ways to develop inner strength, they're going to come back and say to you, meditation. And I teach meditation. I love meditation. Meditation will give you inner peace, and you need inner peace to develop inner strength, but it is an assisting tool. It is not the primary mover for developing inner strength. Another recommendation for developing inner strength is affirmations. I love affirmations. Affirmations are statements that you tell yourself to reprogram your mind to undo all the negative thinking that we carry around and all the negative messaging that we hear from others. So affirmations are a great assisting tool, but they are not the primary mover. I love affirmations, and I'll put a link to my affirmation video down below. And you can see just how much I love them. Another assisting tool is self-discipline. Self-discipline is a great tool. I teach it myself. I teach it in the Warriors Way Daily Code, which is a self-tracking and self-correcting accountability tool. It is a great tool, but it is not the primary mover. What can the primary mover be? Oh, also that is typically recommended is support groups. If you need support, get it. But nobody can do your push-ups for you. And a support group is not the primary tool. It's an assisting tool. You have to be able to do this for yourself, by yourself, on demand. So when we are talking about inner strength, we are going to borrow terms and techniques from developing physical strength because they're very related. It's very similar, the practices that we're going to do. And when you are trying to develop your muscles, as in getting a big, strong bicep, or when you are trying to develop cardiovascular fitness, as in running or biking, or when you are trying to develop flexibility, like touching your toes, there is one basic principle at work that is going to make you fitter and stronger. And what is that principle? It is called, does anybody know what it is? It is called resistance. Resistance. And what is resistance? Resistance is pushing against something to get a result. You need to push against something to get a result. So if you are trying to develop your muscles, you're using a weight. You're pushing against that weight to force your muscle to adapt and grow and get stronger. If you are trying to get cardiovascular fitness, you are pushing against activity and the speed with which you do that activity, or the length of time you do that activity. And you are trying to build up your heart muscle. If you are trying to be flexible, you are pushing against your own resistance to do the stretch, to make your body adapt and move in an easier way. So you're using resistance. You're pushing against something to make yourself stronger. A very important concept. And it is also the concept that we're going to be using for inner strength. When you are developing inner strength, the fastest, quickest, the most efficient, and the most surefire way to get inner strength is through resistance. You need to push against something. And what are we going to push against? We can't use weights, and we can't take a walk, and we can't stretch ourselves into it. What are we going to use as resistance? We have to use something we don't want to do. And what is that thing that we don't want to do? That is our resistance, the thing we don't want to do. And it is either a habit or a routine or a behavior of some kind or a dependency. That is the thing that is going to be our resistance. We don't want to do it, and we're going to force ourselves to do it, and we're going to force ourselves to adapt. And that adaptation is going to give us inner strength, and it's going to give it to us in spades in a really fast and dramatic and bold way. So it can be any habit, but the more intense the habit, so let's say you've been drinking your entire life, you're going to get a very dramatic result because you are using intensity. And it's the same thing when you're doing physical training. If you add intensity, you are going to get a more dramatic strength result. So if you have a habit that maybe you're worried about because it's been a lifelong one, that is going to give you the biggest boon. But you will get strength from anything. You can get strength from not using the F word in every sentence. So the first thing is to pick a behavior that you want to stop, and to become Superman by stopping that behavior. And we start where we are in our process. So we want to take ourselves to failure every time. So failure is another training technique in physical training. You want to take yourself to failure. Failure is just a training term. It's nothing to be worried about or to not talk about. It's where you want to go. You want to go to failure. So when I'm training my muscles, I want to go to failure, meaning I can't do another curl. That's my failure. Wherever that is, that's the point that I work around. That's where I am going to get strong, by working on that point of failure and pushing through it. And there are many training techniques in the physical fitness world for doing that. So in the inner strength world, we're also going to go to the point of failure, and we're going to work with it, and we're going to push past it, and we're going to do it. If our point of failure is 5 minutes, we're going to push past. We're going to work with it and push past it. If our point of failure is 5 hours, we're going to work with it. Great, we can make it to 5 hours. We're going to work with that 5 hours and push past it. If our point of failure is 5 days, great. We're going to work with that 5 days and push past it. If our point of failure is 5 weeks, great. So you get the idea. We're going to take wherever our failure happens and work with it and use that as the resistance and the pushing place where we achieve our next goal. And we're just going to keep doing this. We're going to keep pushing past failure until there is no resistance, until the resistance disappears. So if you're doing stretches, for example, a yoga stretch or just a regular stretch, and you finally get your nose to your toes, and you can hold the posture, you'll reach a point where it doesn't hurt. There's no resistance. You can do it. And you're going to reach that same point with your inner strength, where there's no resistance, where it doesn't hurt, where it's not a struggle, where you can just do it, where it becomes your life. It becomes who you are. You know, we define ourselves more by what we're able to stop. And when you stop a behavior, you are a different person because you have redefined yourself. So we're going to be using these two concepts, resistance and failure. We're going to work with wherever our failure point happens to be. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It is where you are. And we are going to do it in the most scientific way possible. We're going to track when we start. We're going to track when we stop to our point of failure. We're going to track why we stopped. And we're going to work with those measurables to push beyond it. And it's a very rewarding experience. It's subtle, but it is a good feeling that you get inside yourself when you learn how to stop, when you work against that resistance and push through it. So that is the goal of the Warriors Way training program, to develop that amazing, unshakable resilience and inner strength that is going to serve you in every life situation. It is going to serve you because it is yours, and it is unshakable, and it is a reservoir that you can count on to be there for you. The other two things that we work on in the Warriors Way training program is developing a magnificent life. You deserve it and you can have it, but you need to envision what it is. And we also work on developing the Warriors Way Daily Code. This is a tracking program for walking your talk. Are you doing what you said you're going to do? If you're not, it's a tool for getting yourself on track. It's a tool for self-correcting. It's a very helpful tool. So we do those three things in the Warriors Way training program, apprentice program, excuse me. It's the beginner level. I offer it twice a month. It's a 10-day webinar. All are welcome. It's for people who really are interested in the concept of warriorhood, which is the path of personal power, path of being your own Superman. Or it's for people who are just mildly curious, or people who want a really efficient, results-oriented program for stopping a behavior, for having a magnificent life, and for learning to discipline self. Check it out at KarenBentley.com. Come back. I really can't wait to be with you again. And bye for now. Mwah, big love. See ya.